Victoria 3, we come to institutions with Dev Diary 8. The services your government provides to its pops. It's the infrastructure of government, if you so want. Institutions are a side effect of those laws. What is an institution? For example, a school is an institution, or courts are an institution, things like that. Institutions are a side effect of those laws. It's not as politically fraught to expand your pre-existing healthcare system as it is to establish or dismantle it. The laws that bring an institution into existence also govern what side effects they have, and interest groups will care a lot about those. So institutions is the applying of laws. So we all know institutions run on bureaucracy like gamers run on caffeine. Yeah. So you still have that bureaucracy that you produce and that you can use to form your country. Bureaucracy comes from government administration buildings, which employ clerks and bureaucrats that consume paper and on later goods like telephones in the process. The more government administration buildings you have, the more and larger institutions you can operate at once. So only a really modern state can have many and good institutions. Running a positive bureaucracy balance is great for remaining responsive to your people's evolving needs. Yeah, if you have a reserve, you can always react to crisis quicker. In the meantime, any excess bureaucracy will be used to marginally improve construction efforts around your country. As you can see here, 3.9% construction speed because of 15% excess bureaucracy. The cost of institutions, the cost of one level of an institution, for example, is dependent on the size of the population across your incorporated states. An important aspect of institutions is that the effects and benefits they apply only affect incorporated parts of your country. You have any colonial frontiers, contested territory, or recently annexed land you haven't incorporated yet. These do not pay taxes to you, nor do they cost you bureaucracy. But they also cannot access your awesome hospitals and other institutions. So there are ways of decreasing the cost of providing institutions to your people. For example, passing laws to decentralize the bureaucracy, elected rather than appointed officials, society inventions like behaviorism that provide insight into people management, refraining from incorporating colonies and conquered territories, sending a whole bunch of people to their deaths in terrible wars. God. Because you have less people then, right? Then it costs less, of course. So, number of investment levels. You can see I have here, for example, that's the 5th level, so you have quite a number of levels available. The bureaucracy cost and the per investment level, in that case, would be 22.8. So the weekly cost of 5 times 22.8 is 140. So that's how it works. In that case, from the education, you can see it increases 30% education access, 60% the conversion. So it's probably not it's a church school. Like, there's that, because you also get 60% devout political strength from that. And it costs you bureaucracy. Incorporated population of 1.98 million costs 22.8 per investment. Base cost is 19.8 plus 15% from hereditary bureaucrats, because they are really costly. Because they're not like specialized, chosen through a normal process that you have today, where you check, are they able to do it, and can we lower their loans and so on. If you have hereditary bureaucrats, they will be in a much better position compared to the state, and so they get higher loans and things like that, higher paid wages, things like that. Currently planned institutions here for the game are the school system, educating the populace; health system increases population health; the police decreases the effects of turmoil, but are not connected to crime. What? Workplace safety reduces workplace mortality; social security impacts how poor your population can get; home affairs counteracts revolutionary sentiment; Conscription lets you recruit civilians as conscripts during wartime, or colonial affairs advances your colonial frontiers. To establish these institutions, you have to have sufficient bureaucracy for their operation and then enact an enabling law. There are always several different laws that enable a certain institution, and which you choose will flavor the institution accordingly. You could have private schools, you could have church schools, you could have public schools, for example. For example, the colonial affairs institution will generate colonial growth in all your established colonies in relation to the size of your incorporated population, by encouraging people to move and invest there. But if you have the colonial resettlement law, each level of it will also provide increased colonial migration pull to entice your population to move there, while the colonial exploitation law will increase the throughput of colonial industries while reducing the standard of living of pops who live in the colony. An example here is Switzerland. Switzerland has 3 levels of religious schools, 1 level of local law enforcement, and 1 level of a private health system, with a 2nd level currently in progress. As you can see here, it has 30% more education access. That's example from above. 60% conversion, 60% devout political strength. Then we have law enforcement. 10% more landowners' political strength through law enforcement police. And 20% less state penalties from turmoil. So turmoil is suppressed and landowners gain political strength. Then we have the health system. 1% less per wealth mortality, wealth-based. So wealth-based, so poorer people don't die as often with a health system. Let's translate that. So there's that. That's an example for Switzerland. Switzerland will, of course, be one of the most interesting states in there, right? Because of the whole neutrality thing and the connection to the papal state and everything that changes at that time. And whoa, that's going to be crazy too. The bureaucracy you invest into institutions can be redistributed as needed, but this takes time. For example, if you have a level 3 health system and level 2 home affairs and a per level cost of 142 bureaucracy, you're paying 710 bureaucracy for the privilege which you have to generate from government administration buildings. But if your population grows such that each level costs 173 instead, maintaining these levels will cost you 865. Assuming this puts you at a deficit of 155 bureaucracy, you will suffer a pretty hefty tax waste penalty, which causes a percentage of all taxes collected to never quite make it all the way to your treasury. So if you're going for an inefficient administration, then you can imagine that tax instead goes to corruption and so is lost to the state. In response to this disaster, in that case above, you may be forced to reduce the level of one of these institutions, which will restore your bureaucracy balance to +18, while you expand your bureaucracy to be able to regain the lost level. If you took the level from the health system, bomb throwers lurking around in the shadows. Since institutions expand gradually, restoring your lost level will take some time. So, if possible, it's best to stay ahead of the change and expand your government administration proactively if you experience strong population growth or immigration waves to your incorporated states. Don't wait until it burns to build a fire watch. That is something. If there are predictable events, you should prepare for these events with increasing institutions. And I think that will be a good thing. All in all. So have a great time until next time, and happy gaming. I'm looking forward to the game very much. I want to see how it works out. Seems like it all works together, and that's a good thing. It's economy driven, because economy, of course, is nearly everything. Economy influences power, and power makes the things go round here. Have a great time until next time, and happy gaming. This is Immanuel Can signing out. See you soon, and happy gaming.